Hi there. Let's take a look at Ethan Crumbley and his parents. Want to take a look at the complaints, the charges filed against them. In this video, we're going to look at the 24 counts against Ethan Crumbley regarding that school shooting on that terrible, terrible, tragic day in November of 2021 at Oxford High School in Michigan, where several students lost their lives and many others were injured. So I want to say thank you to all of those who reached out and asked me to take a look at this case. It's very interesting, not only Ethan Crumbley's case, the sophomore's case, the alleged school shooter's case, but also the case that's being brought against his parents, which I'll cover in a subsequent video. We'll take a look at the charges against his parents as well. Okay, so please do support my work by subscribing. Thank you very much for subscribing to this channel. And welcome to all of those of you new subscribers. And thank you to all of those who voted in the poll and reached out and asked me to take a look at the cases against the Crumbleys. So I thought it would be helpful to start out first by looking at the complaint, looking at the charges against Ethan Crumbley. What's the potential evidence against Ethan Crumbley? Who are the witnesses that may be called at the trial? And what are the penalties that Ethan Crumbley is facing? Now, he's a juvenile defendant. He's presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt by a jury of his peers, and it's a unanimous verdict is required on all counts. It's a criminal case. Okay, I'm not a Michigan lawyer. I'm a California lawyer, but I did do my research. So this video is for education information. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please share these videos. Hit the bell notification. If you want to support me making these videos, you value the content that I provide, I put a PayPal link in the description box below the video. Okay, so as I said, in case you popped onto this channel, on November 30th, 2021, Ethan Crumbley, a sophomore at Oxford High, is accused of shooting and killing 4 students at Oxford High and injuring several others, 7 other students. He's being charged with 24 counts. I'll go over those counts, the potential sentences he's looking at if he's convicted. Again, he's presumed innocent. A complaint is just allegations. My understanding, he was 15 years old at the time, so he's a juvenile defendant. I think he's being tried as an adult in Michigan. So let's go ahead and take a look at the complaint, the charges against Ethan Crumbley. And I just want to say it's a horrible, it's a horrible school shoot. It's a horrible, horrible, tragic circumstances where students lost their lives. Other students were terribly injured. And I'm sure many, many other students were very traumatized by this event. It's a terrible tragedy and it's horrific circumstances. So my prayers to all the family members, to all the students, and to all those who were there during that tragic day on November 30th at Oxford High. So let's go ahead and take a look at the complaint, the charges against Ethan Crumbley, who I think is 16 now, so he's 15 at the time that that the school shooting took place. So here is the complaint, which lays out the charges, the witnesses, potential witnesses, the evidence that the prosecution intends to call a trial, it looks like. So here are the 24 counts. Let's go through and see what the sentences are. So if you look at this, it says the people of the state of Michigan, so that's the prosecutors, versus Ethan Robert Crumbley. That's the 15-year-old high school sophomore who's accused of committing the school shooting and killing and injuring students. Took place, the date of defense is November 30th, 2021. It's in the county of Oakland in Michigan. The complainants are the victims that were injured, the 7 students, the 4 students who tragically lost their lives, and other witnesses at the scene. Okay? So why don't we go through and take a look at who the witnesses are that the prosecution indicates here. So all of these witnesses here look like law enforcement. So it's Lieutenant T. Willis, OCSO, I assume that's Oakland County Sheriff's Office. It's Detective Sergeant Weir, Detective Lieutenant Marzabon, and host of sergeants and detectives. You can take a look at that. And then we have a list of, and I think these are the students that were injured. John Andrew Esquioto, and I apologize if I mispronounce. Aiden Watson, Elijah I think Wooler, Riley Franz, Kylie Osage, Molly Darnell, Phoebe Arthur, Sean O'Brien. And then now, those are all potential witnesses. I think many of these were the ones, and as I go through the counts, seven of these students were injured. So he's being charged with assault with the intent to commit murder of those students. So we're going to have student witnesses, the victims, come on and testify. Looks like, and then we're going to have the 911 call dispatcher. I assume a bunch of 911 calls were made, 911 recordings, potential evidence at trial. And then we have a medical treatment personnel, those personnel who treated the victims who were injured. Elijah Mueller, looks like copy of all medical records regarding the treatment of Elijah Mueller. All medical personnel at Flint Hospital regarding the treatment of Phoebe Arthur. Certified copy of all medical records regarding the treatment of Phoebe Arthur. The medical personnel who treated Riley Franz. The medical records regarding the treatment of Riley Franz. The medical record, the personnel who treated Aiden Wilson. The medical records relating to Aiden Wilson. The medical personnel who treated Molly Darnell. And again, these are all the medical personnel or the witnesses that the prosecution could call to explain the injuries that they saw, how they treated each one of these students, and the medical records to also indicate the injuries and the treatment of the students. Okay, so then we have medical records regarding the treatment of Molly Darnell, the medical personnel who treated John Esquioto, the medical records regarding the treatment of John Esquioto, the medical personnel who treated Phoebe Arthur, the medical records regarding the treatment of Phoebe Arthur, and then we have, tragically, these are the autopsy protocol and the reports regarding the deaths of Madison Baldwin, Tate Meyer, Hannah St. Julia, Justin Schilling. Then we have a representative of the removal service. I assume that's regarding removing the bodies of the students who lost their lives. Representative of Oakland County Sheriff's Office Crime Lab regarding laboratory reports. I don't know if they did if they took blood samples to find out if there were any drugs in the defendant's blood, possibly, or reports, any lab reports. Then we have some representative from the Oakland County Sheriff's Crime Lab. We have a forensic examiner witness. We have somebody coming in to testify regarding the firearms used. Also, there's a video on November 27, 2021 that the prosecution also wants to get into evidence. There's also a representative from the Computer Crimes Unit that did a forensic examination of Ethan's electronics. I assume that's his laptop and his phone. So those are all potential witnesses. And again, the prosecution can call additional witnesses. This is just letting the defense know, here are the potential witnesses. Here's the medical records, medical personnel, lab reports, just letting them know. Somebody also examined the firearms and the forensic analysis of Ethan Crumbley's electronics. Okay. So here are the counts. Now these are the crimes that Ethan Crumbley is charged with. Now again, they're just allegations. He's presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt in a unanimous verdict. Okay? So count 1 relates to the terrorism causing death charge, which I think, if I'm correct about this, is the first time it's been charged in Michigan. So, what is it that the prosecution has to prove in order to convict Ethan Crumbley of count 1? They have to prove that Ethan Crumbley did knowingly, willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation commit murder. Premeditation means thought about it, planned. It wasn't something spontaneous or reactionary. He planned it out, he premeditated, he thought about it. To commit murder in the first degree, a violent felony that the defendant knew or had reason to know was dangerous to human life, while intending to intimidate or coerce the civilian population, to wit, the Oxford High School community. So the terrorism part of this is intimidating and coercing a civilian population, the Oxford High School community, and causing the death of Madison, Baldwin, Tate Meyer, Hannah St. Julia, and Justin Chilling. What's the penalty if he's convicted? Life without parole, or a minimum sentence of 25 years to a maximum of 60 years. On that one count, if he's convicted of count 1, terrorism causing death. Now count 2, 3, 4, and 5 relate to the tragic deaths of the 4 students. Ethan Crumbley is charged with first-degree murder on each one of those killings. Did Ethan Crumbley deliberately, with the intent to kill and with premeditation, kill and murder Madison Baldwin? Count 2. Count 3. Did Ethan Crumbley deliberately, with the intent to kill, with premeditation, kill and murder Tate Meyer? Count 4. Kill and murder Hannah St. Julia. Count 5. Kill and murder Justin Chilling. Those are all first-degree murder charges. He's looking at life without parole or up to 25 to 60 years on each one of those counts. So count 6, 7, 8, 6 through, I think, 13 relate to the 7 counts relating to assault with intent to murder those students, those 7 students who were injured. Okay, so count 6. Did Ethan Crumbley make an assault upon Phoebe Arthur with the intent to commit murder? What's the penalty? Life or any number of years. Count 7. Ethan Crumbley assault John Escuto with the intent to commit murder. Penalty, life or any number of years. Count 8. Assault with the intent to murder Molly Donnell. Count 9. Assault with the intent to murder Riley Franz. Count 10. Assault with the intent to murder Elijah Mueller. Count 11. Assault with the intent to commit murder with Kylie Osage. Count 12. Assault with the intent to commit murder upon Aiden Watson. Okay, now we get into the 12 counts relating to possessing a firearm during the commission of a felony. So, count 13 through 24. So, count 13, the prosecution has to prove that Ethan Crumbley did carry or have in his possession a firearm, to wit, a pistol, at the time he committed or attempted to commit a felony, to wit, the terrorism causing death, the first-degree murders. In each one of those is 2 years consecutively, not concurrent, meaning the judge, if it's consecutive sentence, they add 2 years plus 2 years plus 2 years plus 2 years, okay, on each one of those. So it's first-degree murder, possession of a firearm during first-degree murder. Several of these counts that relates to the killing, the tragic killing of those students who lost their lives. Count 18 is also possession, commission of felony. You can go ahead and read these all the way to count 24. So that's 12 counts of possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony he's facing. It's 4 first-degree murder counts, and it's 7 counts relating to assault with the intent to commit murder regarding the students who were injured. Okay? This was a warrant that was authorized and signed by Oakland County Prosecuting Attorney. It looks like Shailene Lynch. So, those are the 24 counts that Ethan Crumbley is currently facing. The allegations that he committed the first-degree murders of those 4 students who lost their lives, the 7 students who were injured, those are assault charges, and then the 12 possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, whether it was the terrorism of the Oxford High School community, or whether it was the first-degree murders or the assault charges. Okay, so it looks like if he's convicted of any of these more serious felonies, it's life. What his potential defenses, I think at this point, if I'm correct about this, I think that one of the defenses might be an insanity defense. I think we'll have to see how this plays out. But again, like any defendant, he's just being charged. Okay, he's presumed innocent until until the government proves their case, the prosecution proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt as to each one of these counts and each one of the elements relating to first degree. Intent, premeditation, deliberate. Okay, so it's a terrible tragedy that happened. Legally, though, I think both of these cases are very interesting. You know, to have a terrorism charge, a juvenile defendant in Ethan Crumbley's case, and then in the case against his parents, they're charged with involuntary manslaughter for the killings that took place allegedly at the hands of their son. So the parents are being charged with involuntary manslaughter, not first-degree murder like Ethan Crumbley is. But I'll go through that in a separate video. We'll take a look at the complaint against his parents. So please do leave a comment or question. I want to know what your analysis is. What do you think? What do you think about these charges? What do you think about the potential penalties? What do you think about his possible defenses? Does he have any? Or, was there other things going on? His mental state? What are the potential defenses? So do let me know by leaving a comment. Please do support my work by subscribing. Hit that like button, hit the bell notification, and thank you so much for watching.